Hi, I'm Wayne Santos, the reviews editor with Comics and Gaming Monthly, and I am here with Joe Ishikura, the game designer with Sucker Punch, and we're here to talk about Infamous 2.
Yeah, I think for us it's about making it more, I know it's a buzzword, but making it more epic and bigger and more varied. So what that means for epic, that just means bigger powers, bigger enemies. You got huge ice titans that you get to combat with the new ionic storm and all those new powers. And for variety, we just have as many different new superpowered enemies as possible. This is a big focus for us right from the get-go. One of the first things I ended up working on is new enemies that have superpowers. So got a lot more of that. So what they actually had was that they were conduits, right? They got power from the ray sphere. And so we decided that, one of the things that we could really differentiate ourselves against other franchises is the fact that we could just make our enemies not just have guns, right? We could have them have all these cool new superpowers. So from the word go, we decided that, let's do kind of plant-based stuff with swamp monsters. Let's do ice-based stuff with a new ice gang. And so we went across the board and tried to think of cool powers that are just fun to fight against. And so, of course, we ended up with ice and kind of plant-themed stuff. And so that's what we went with. Yeah, absolutely. For us, with the Karma system, we decided to evolve it for Infamous 2 because it's just a big part of the franchise. It's kind of a defining characteristic of it. And so, kind of like you mentioned before, it has more of an impact this time around on the stuff that you do, and in ways that players care about. We found that with some of the choices in Infamous 1, they were kind of a little bit weird because they didn't really have an impact on the game systems themselves. But this time around, we really focused on things that we knew players cared about. We knew players wanted to play twice, so we wanted to make sure that there was more branching content. We have all these missions that are absolutely mutually exclusive. So once on your first time around, you're not going to see all the missions. You have to play the second time around with the other karmic alignment. But we also have powers, right? The ice and fire powers that we talked about before, they're tied to the karma system. About 40-ish% of the way into the game, you actually have a choice where you get to either side with Nyx or Quo, our brand new superhero allies, and say, depending on your relationship with them, which powers do you want? And so it's all these different things that are absolutely around karma that we try to make more important, kind of more impactful this time around. So we absolutely made changes to the engine. It's the same engine as Infamous 1, but we made a lot of upgrades across the board. And so the way that you kind of manifest them is, I talk about epicness all the time and all those things that kind of are flaky and you're not really sure what they mean, but epicness just means big enemies with big destruction, big new powers, and those are literally things that we could not do with the Infamous 1 engine. We really had the programmers did an awesome job this time around, making sure that you can have 15 verandas crumbling right in front of your face. You could have a behemoth going down the street, destroying everything in his path, and the engine's absolutely going to hold up. And so that was one of those things where with Infamous 1 we couldn't do it, but with Infamous 2 we can because of the engine upgrades. As far as, stuff that I hope people notice, mine's really, really simple. I just hope that people really embrace the freedom that comes with the game. We have something called the powers variant system, and all that really means that you get to switch between your powers on the fly. And so what I hope this means to players is that they'll embrace this freedom and not just get locked into using one power, not just get locked into kind of approaching things the same way over and over again, but use that freedom and make your own fun. Because that's what I like to do when I play the game.